make that.
40-25. We'll check back in San Francisco in a couple of moments with Rudy Gobert and company up by 15. Want to welcome those of you who may be tuning over at the half between Zion and the Spurs. Pelicans and Spurs. Zion, 8 minutes in the first half. He's 1 of 2, scored 2 points. This is Crunch Time, presented by Taco Bell. I'm Jared Greenberg. Here's what we got, a 12-game night around the association. All eyes on Zion tonight. They trail the Spurs by 9 at the half. If you're just joining us for the first time, what we do is we take you around the league, coast to coast, at a fast-paced clip, showing you the biggest moments of the night as they happen live. We'll get you back out to these 3 games that are still in progress. Let's bring in, for the first time tonight, 3D Dennis Scott. 3D, here's Zion's first bucket in the pros.
Well, right here, you just show him fighting for position, showing that athletic ability, going up strong, and get another rebound to put back.
You were just with Zion right before he made his debut, Monday's TNT Martin Luther King Jr. broadcast, as they beat the Memphis Grizzlies. You had some interesting conversations with him. What's your expectation for how he'll handle tonight?
Obviously be a little nervous and excited because he's finally going to get a chance to live his dream because he loves the game so much. But as you saw in those first couple of minutes, not forcing things, trying to get into the flow, sharing the basketball. And that game you were talking about on Martin Luther King Day, they were moving the ball, I think, with 19-23s that game. So that lets me know he's paying attention to detail, similar to our conversation, where he wants to show Coach that he's going to play defense to help out that side of the floor. You know, offensively, they're going to share the basketball. He's going to get shots.
Again, we'll get back out to live looks and updates from everything happening around the NBA. Plus, we're going to hear from LeBron James in the locker room at Madison Square Garden in a couple of minutes. Pacers right now on a 25-6 run. Updates from there in a moment, but more on the Pelicans. And you bring up a really good point. Pelicans have been playing such good basketball. They lost 13 in a row, but since have won 11 of 16. Zion's not a fit-in player, right? He is a star.
Yes.
So how does he get acclimated to this offense and defense?
Well, it's more so the defense. I say it again because Alvin Gentry understands if he can buy on to defensive end, he's going to give him a whole lot of freedom on the offensive end. Drew Holiday's healthy. He shares. Alonzo Ball's playing lights-out basketball now, conference. He shares. Brandon Ingram's playing lights-out basketball, scoring 40s, and he's passing the basketball. That becomes contagious. So to your point, being a superstar, you're throwing right in the starting lineup. There is no minute restriction. It's all about getting in basketball shape now. And of course, you're not going to get that in one night, Jared. But understanding, get out there, play hard, see where your body is, see how you feel. That's what they want to see tonight.
And again, no hard minutes restriction.
Nope.
Zion, 8 minutes tonight in the first half. Purely coincidence, not by design. They're playing
going with the flow. Going with the flow.
Short bursts.
Yes, and what people have to understand, short bursts may be, this is your time to come out the ball game. This is your normal, time period. Now, if he goes off, makes 3 or 4 buckets in a row, I'm sure Alvin Gentry's going to sit down and say, guys, he's playing well, let's let him go. And that's okay. How do you get back in basketball shape? By playing basketball. So play as many minutes as you can tonight, see how your legs feel, and go by day. Spurs
also on the court. We should give them respect.
Yeah, of course.
They've won a couple of games in a row. LaMarcus Aldridge, 16 first-half points. DeMar DeRozan held to just 4 first-half points. And we'll check back into the second half of this game. Again, 60-51 at the half. For those of you who have tuned over from that game, we'll continue to get you up to speed on everything happening on this 12-game night around the association. Here's what happened earlier tonight with Derrick Rose and the Pistons. Again, in the starting lineup, 3D. No Andre Drummond tonight with a mouth injury, and Derrick Rose, 22 points, 11 assists. Spurs, they blow out the Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
Third leading scorer off the bench this year is Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder and company were up by 15. They nearly blew that. Magic couldn't come all the way back. Schroeder had 31 points.
Getting it done, man. His confidence back. He's in a good place right now. He and Chris Paul and SGA on the floor at the same time. They're clicking defensively. I just like everything what the Thunder are doing right now. Lil Goldie said, I'm in my bag with the step back. I like it, Jared. I like everything he's doing right now.
OKC winning its 3rd straight game. Rockets' 4-game losing streak is over.
This is a good one.
Now listen, I want to be perfectly clear about what Denver was playing with tonight. No Harris, no Murray, no Plumlee, no Millsap, no Porter Jr., 5 key players out. But Russell Westbrook, don't fault him on this one. He took advantage of those short-handed Nuggets.
No, that's a good point you make, Jared. You understand that injuries are part of our league. Russell Westbrook said opportunity knocked. I'm feeling good. I'm going to keep attacking the paint. Plumlee, their best shot blocker, not in the game tonight.
We're going to have to get an update here on what's going on with Jason Tatum because this was a weird game for the Celtics. They played without Jaylen Brown tonight, and Jason Tatum erupted for 23 points. He was sensational, but then he left the game 3D with a groin injury.
Ouch. I was showing up to work and I saw the video of him walking off. I wasn't sure what the injury was, but it didn't look good.
Here's where the injury, we believe, happened to Schroeder. He just stayed down there at that other end of the court and then went to the locker room. Also, Enes Kanter left the game with an apparent leg injury, so the Celtics continue to be banged up. LeBron James at Madison Square Garden tonight off their worst loss of the season. They bounced back. It wasn't easy. 8-point win. LeBron 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Here's LeBron James in the Laker visiting locker room tonight at Madison Square Garden.
I'm just trying to be in a position where I can help my team be successful on the defensive end. It was a slow-paced game, so, defensive stops was very key to our success tonight. And trying to be the communicator, being the Ed Reed of the team, being able to see things, bark out calls, and being able to make plays. And, I was able to make a couple.
You start 8 of 9 from the field efficiently on offense, and then down the stretch, it looked like AD was having an advantage, kept getting to the free throw line. What did you see getting him back in rhythm tonight?
That's what we want. We want to be well-balanced, and we was able to do that tonight. I tried to start off the game being aggressive. I was able to get myself going, and then, AD was able to, facilitate down the stretch, and it was good basketball.
LeBron, what changed the tempo of the game? You guys very defensive, both teams, very close. Third quarter, you guys kind of started pulling away. What changed about that time?
Well, we continued to get defensive stops that allowed us to get out and run a little bit. We executed a lot better in that third quarter, but I think it was the defensive stops that allowed us to get out in the early break.
How have you felt about the sort of chemistry, on-court chemistry in the last 2 games for the team?
What do you mean? Feel great. Feel great.
Just been sort of some offensively, maybe just some possessions where it seems like the offense has sputtered a little bit.
No, listen, we had a bump game in Boston, but I feel great. Our chemistry on the court is always great because how much we get along off the floor.
What's the difference? Is it still special?
For you personally, between the first half and the second half?
Say that again?
What's the difference for you personally between the first and second half? It looked like you were looking to pass a lot more in the second half.
Yeah, I was more of a facilitator in the second half. Want to try to get AD going. He looked a little out of rhythm in the first half, so it's a point of emphasis for me to coming into the third quarter and in the fourth quarter to get him going. So that was the difference.
LeBron, is it still special for you after all these years to come and play at Madison Square Garden?
Yep, it's probably my favorite arena in the world to play as a visitor. Coming here, understanding the history, the mecca of basketball. Being here in the bright lights, being here in the Garden. It's my favorite place to come play, so absolutely special.
With all the thoughts over the years of Knicks fans desperately wishing that you'd come here, if your son gets drafted by the Knicks one day, will you consider playing with him here?
Man, my son in the 9th grade, man. You're trying to worry about what project you got to turn in tomorrow. That's what we worried about right now, and that's what's most important. School, home, and being the best big brother he can be, so.
Kyle didn't score in the first.
Say that again?
Kyle Kuzma didn't score in the first half. He scored 10 big points in the second half. What did you like from him out there tonight?
Listen, we all play the game, for the better of the team. And, Kuz missed a couple shots in the first half, but it didn't let him slow him down in the second half. He was able to get it going. He got to the rim a couple of times, got to the free throw line. And you seen the ball go to the hoop, and, it was good for him.
You're getting closer to passing Kobe on the all-time scoring list. I'm just wondering, what do you think that will mean to do that in this uniform?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. It's another guy that I looked up to when I was in grade school and high school, and seeing him come straight out of high school, he someone that I use as inspiration. It was like, wow, seeing a kid at 17 years old coming into the NBA and trying to make an impact on a franchise, and I was like, I used that as motivation. He helped me, before he even knew of me because of what he was able to do. So just to be able to, at this point in my career, to share the same, jersey that he wore, be with this historical franchise, and just represent the purple and gold. It's very humbling. It's dope. Kobe's a legend. That's for damn sure.
LeBron, did you incorporate any of his game into your game? And if you did, what were the kind of things that he did that you wanted to do?
No, I can't sit here and say that I did, because we were just two totally different players. His willingness to do whatever it takes to win is something that you admired and love. His drive to get better and better every year. But as far as his game, we're a different player. I'm more of a facilitator, and he's a natural-born scorer. So we would have worked well together, as you saw in the Olympic team.
Last two questions.
LeBron, this year you talk about being a facilitator. You've been obviously playing the point more. It seems to really tailor to your game. How much have you enjoyed this?
It doesn't matter, to be honest. I mean, just being able to suit up and play the game that I love to play was very enjoyable to me. If it's me being a facilitator for this team, starting at the point guard position, or if it's, being in my natural position at the three, or just, being out on the floor, that's what's enjoyable to me, because I'm still playing the game that I love to play, and doing it with a historical franchise.
Back to back like this one, do you start thinking about Kyrie and the Nets now, or do you kind of wait till tomorrow? You guys go through your walkthrough in the morning and then think about that matchup and staying here in New York?
Now.
Any thoughts on the matchup?
No, because I don't want to tip our hand just yet. But as soon as I came in here, I started thinking about tomorrow night's game. So looking forward to it.
All right, Lakers bounce back nicely from their biggest loss of the season. Take you out to Phoenix. Here's the Utah Jazz. Pardon me. I'm sorry, TJ Warner, the Indiana. It's been a long night here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Been on the air since 7 Eastern. Indiana up 85-66. Here is Utah, the team that just beat Indiana. Bogdanovich.
Bogey.
Tell you what, that offseason pickup is looking better and better by the game.
Yes, it
Guys
is.
up 53-36. Here's what we got in the West standings right now, the top 1 through 8. But again, remember, to be in 14th place, second to last, is not to be in a bad spot right now, amazingly enough, because the difference between 8th and 14th is just 5 games in the loss column.
And that's what makes the Western Conference for this year. We've known the last couple of years, Jared, maybe 1 through 4, 1 through 6, maybe logged in. This time, really the whole conference until you get down to basically, Golden State last 3, because now New Orleans thinks they can fight, Phoenix thinks they can fight.
Question.
And they're all going to be battling now for the next couple months.
Before tonight got going in New Orleans, David Griffin joked about having to play the evil empire tonight. And he was joking about the Spurs' history, but he's also talking about the fact that the Spurs are right in this mix. Mm-hmm. They're a half game out, and if the Spurs can hold on to win tonight due to the Memphis loss, Spurs will find themselves in the 8th spot as we enter Thursday in the NBA.
So, Jared, that's what's going to make this bottom half so much fun to talk about, because we know what Portland's trying to do. Dame has a 61 the other night. Melo's been playing lights-out basketball. We talked about Devin Booker earlier. He's trying to say, finally, can my offensive game, now that Coach Miney has challenged me to play defense, it's like now they're trying to fight for it. And then San Antonio, okay, that's what they do. They know how to tweak some